satisfactory.
I feel stronger. I shall rise to be...
Ha! I have never known
Any
such
effort
height.
is key. A halfway decent result. Excellent. I've grown more powerful.
That'll do. Okay. I'll strive for greater heights. I admit, it feels good to get stronger.
I shall strive to use this power wisely.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio after my time in the past doing the Caradrius. And we're going to care back from Barden. What do we get? Expensive medicine. I would appreciate some... I don't even know if you can get MP healing items at this point. Actually, hang on. I can check my own notes. No, I definitely could have gotten Magla potions from that. But yeah, infiltration route to Lisa's quarters is completely secure. Yes, we are waiting for the soiree of evil.
True.
And yes, we could help more in need and fulfill our campaign pitch. Still really hot here, still really hot where I live too. So yeah, we have to spend time until the soiree, and as much as I would really like to do some bonds, Stroll's only locked off by an easy quest that we can do. Hulkenberg's is locked off by stats, I believe, but we can also rank up Barden or Maria if we wanted to. But here's the thing. I want to take care of Roger's Gauntlet Runner as soon as possible, and for that reason, I need to go ahead and head out again. So we've basically got, like, several entire parts of bonding, and now it's several entire parts in a row of just dungeons. But before that, and helping out, it's Idols Day and a discount today, let's get our church gear upgraded. So, what have we got here? The Grand Eagle... I have the Graced Water, but not the lower form of Blessed Water. Which means I can't get any of these. Okay. Well, at least we can preview what they are. So yeah, Berserk Gauntlets automatically increases, Auto Tarot on an accessory. The Brawn Breastplate increased max HP by 30%. Yeah, that's pretty nice for a tank. Caesar's Semaphore. Why do we know about Julius Caesar in this universe? Automatically increases, Auto Marakukaja? That's pretty crazy too. I'm probably going to prioritize that. And increases this against bird-type monsters, which are probably going to be weak to pierce anyway. May as well buy some more Balms of Life on a discount, though. And speaking of on a discount, let's go to Brylehaven and get our stuff apparized, and also sell a whole bunch of... Yeah, that's worth a lot. Okay, Superior Briny Staff. That gets us increases fire and increases ice. Briny Accessory... Okay, plus 6 strength isn't bad. And Superior Enigmatic Accessory. Mage Agility Wave, Mage Group Strength. These are the things we've seen some enemies casting, but yeah, that's Masukaja, that's Matarukaja. So having an extra Matarukaja user is not bad. Alright, I still have my Daze stuff equipped thanks to the Daze guy we fought. Okay, yeah, you should definitely get the Archetypal Ring. I should have used that against the Ogre bot. How did I forget I had that? Let's take my mind off that by buying a Guillotine Blade for Stroll. Ooh. I already have 2 of those. I think that's actually better than the Thief/Assassin weapon I currently have. I think that's a pretty good brawler weapon too. You know, I may as well get the Rider's Anklet. And just to make absolutely sure, neither of these have a deadline, so I can kind of afford to put them off until I unlock the increased quest rewards from Alonso. Dental Distress, though, this one I do need to finish quickly. And no, I didn't forget about that. So, let us chart a course.
Are we departing?
Yes, we are, Heisme.
Now then.
So, we're actually going to be running up to the Stillwood campsite.
It's your call.
Which way should we go?
But obviously not the way that we went last time. We're gonna switch and not do that. Yeah, there are multiple different ways we can do this. We're gonna go through Inundo, campsite, a landmark there, the Tomb of Lament, and then there. That's our path. Let's go! So, on board the runner, obviously no bonding events that we can do today, and I want to say I've already finished all the books. Yes, I have finished all the books. So, I could go for Courage with Stroll, and that's it. Or, I didn't expect to be able to use this. I could finally actually use this. So, let's go ahead and plant some... I'm pretty sure this is the only seed we have, so let's plant the Hero's Fruit.
Yep.
And I guess this just explains why this takes up the whole day. Oh, right, this is definitely an ambush. Peculiar color-changing eyes. Okay, then. I have equipped a whole bunch of well, not Zeo in this game, Kande skills, just in case the just in case the green elementals show up again. Oh, we got blue ones now. So, a little bit of damage there. But, okay then. Unfortunately, Heizme does not have the fire skills in his current commander archetype, but I do have... That's only one enemy though, but at least it is a press turn advantage. Now, this is slash boosted. Let's see how much that does. Oh wow, that just straight up kills them. Nice. And we have a bunch of wasps now. I am on Gunner, but I don't actually have the AoE Gunner synthesis, and that is annoying. Could really use that right about now. Well, at least I can take these guys out. Like, they're really not that bad. Or I could just go for even round slash with slash boost. Yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, at least we secured the unscathed triumph from the Elementors and gained a bunch of mag out of that.
The village of Inundo, a small settlement located north of Brylehaven, lies ahead. The industry that once thrived here fell into decline, and now the able-bodied youth dream instead of leaving home. A small population of mostly children and elders remain, and visitors are scarce. The gauntlet runner slows to a stop.
Oh, that actually reminds me of that one village in Japan where, like, all of the youth have moved away for better job opportunities, and the only people left are a few old people who, have made dolls to make the village look populated. It's like, it's actually really sad when you think about it. I mean, it's nice artwork, but, like, the circumstances are quite sad. I've seen some actual villages in Southeast Asia that look like this. I mean, you know, if the food's not interesting but tastes good, then that's fine.
That reminds me.
Yeah, so we need to buy the Toothbrush of Hygienia. Thankfully, most quest items are very, very cheap. But yeah, they sell briny accessories as well as the Hell's Boiling Bath Bomb. And the only ingredient they sell is the Mellow Milk. Superior briny light armor. I mean, I may as well take a few of these. Like, you're essentially gambling on these, because they might turn out to be something not exactly useful, but they might turn out to be something good, so... Yeah, I bought the superior ones. These ones are not likely to become anything especially great. I mean, if you're lucky, they might, apparize into... No, I'm just saying apparize without even, expecting to. They might appraise into something that's worth more to sell than you paid for them, but they might not. That's true. Well, I mean, we're making some strides to doing that ourselves. We're going after that ghost in the nearby tomb. Even the seas are rough. Yeah, I do feel like some of the villagers would have left to become sailors, because that's kind of sounds like what you do around these parts. It's nice to actually get the village conversations. Make sure we don't choose back to base. Continue the trip.
As the sky turns the same muddy color as the land below, the Gauntlet Runner arrives in a quiet land. However, confidence would be ill-advised. Listen carefully for footfalls in the mud, and move at the break of dawn.
I like that more as a different monologue for every single campsite. Even some of the ones you visit twice over the course of the story. So we can claim our... is it a B? I forget which is red and which is blue. It is a B. There we go. Also, we got a memorandum. Why did I almost call it innuendo? It kind of looks like that, okay? A small settlement in northern Brialhaven that came to be when migrant workers laboring at a nearby mining site exchanged their pickaxes for farming hoes and settled there. Though once a land rich in architecture, it became starved after repeated monster attacks and floods. Since then, people began to desert the village in search of work, essentially making it a ghost town. The only remaining lifeline of the village is the specialty goods created by the elderly who left behind. Yeah, that does sound like a lot of places in real life. Okay, so we can get wisdom, or we can get courage or tolerance.
Let's head there right away.
I know that I could be cooking, but, like, I can't make any new dishes right now, and I'd rather save my ingredients so that I can actually make everything. So, tolerance as high as me. Okay, then. Yes, I definitely will.
Alright.
When I'm not spending time with Alonzo, that is. Oh, right, yeah, this one does potentially give you enemies. And they usually involve elementers.
Listen.
True.
I had a feeling Heisman would like that. Yeah, I'm not going to look at a guide for this. I don't even think there is a guide for these particular responses. Yep, here we go. Enemy time. And we have... Oh, it's a fire elementor. Okay. Well, that actually works out with what Heisman has.
Witness our strength.
Okay, no ice synthesis, but we can go for Icy Strike here.
You hit their weakness.
Oh, that actually does do a lot of damage. And poison shot. There we go. There are sometimes follow-ups, but not always. And that should be 1,500 mag. Get a little bit more money. Hulkenberg is definitely rising up the ranks of Magic Knight.
Good grief. Well then.
Alright.
Pretty sure Heismay's dialogue there is, like, always the same after these fights now. But yeah, that was just a way to kill time and get ourselves a little bit more mag.
Time marches on, and the age of a new
But as they
king
say, that's
draws
time marches on. And today we will be heading towards the Tomb of Lament.
What's a pit?
We have to find the legendary chalice. Will we choose poorly? We shall see.
This.
Okay, there are no other activities in the runner available besides, are these ready? They did bear fruit, okay. Only 2 heroes fruits. But we can also find other things here. Ah, more tail bait! That is great! We will very soon, as in the next leg of the story, we'll be needing those. And actually, speaking of tail bait, that's a good segue into, because we have nothing really else to do today. If you clean the runner here, you can sometimes find tail bait, but you should save first.
Come on.
Okay, I want to say you have to clean the storage room to get the chance of tail bait. And now we use Neuros' greatest invention, the vacuum cleaner! Still has a bag, though, which is, generally, like most vacuum cleaners these days are bagless. I still have bag vacuum cleaners in my house.
Okay.
Did I get the tail bait?
Hey.
Yes, look, this place is spotless. Let's take a bet on how long it's gonna stay that way. Fragrant spice, okay. No tail bait. We do get some max HP, though.
I say, we could stop for a break.
Yeah, if I reload, I'm gonna have to see both this and the intro to the tomb again, so I have enough tail baits, I'm not gonna reload for that.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at a spectacular waterfall northwest of Brilehaven, the Peregrine Falls. The water cascading down from the river between the canyons is among the kingdom's finest vistas, thanks in part to the monuments carved into rocky cliffs. Is the rumbling echo simply the water plummeting into the basin below? Or the roar of the Mage King?
Impressive that the Mage King could roar. That sounds more like a Berserker King's kind of thing, and okay, that is very pretty. Reminds me a little bit about how, okay, this hasn't come out as of recording this video, but the Age of Empires has an expansion coming out for Definitive Edition for more South American civilizations, including the Tupi. And the Tupi Wonder is one of the few wonders that's actually based on a natural landmark rather than a man-made one. It's based on a particular set of waterfalls in South America.
Besides,
It's like they're dying. And then, yeah, it does look like they're screaming in agony.
Mayhap.
Does feel like a very, sort of very reverent kind of place.
Just
Yeah, possibly as a warning. I think he knew about the power of the Goblet at this point. Yeah, apparently all of these Hero Kings never had access to synthesis magic and always fought alone, so seems like they had pretty sad existences.
Yes.
Hopefully we're gonna end up being the first Hero Kings in the history of Uchronia who actually had friends. Which really says a lot about why this country went downhill, possibly.
hello.
And there we go, we get the Falls Druid, which we can give to Maria next time we see her.
Their destination is the Tomb of Lament, found north of Oceania. Interred beneath the earth here lie the victims of a terrible epidemic. It is said the lamentations of the lost echo throughout, disfiguring the somber burial ground into a mass grave for criminals and the kinless. The vindictive spirits conjure restless monsters, and it is here that the Gauntlet Runner comes to an uneasy halt.
You can see a scythe in the hands of one of those statues, but yeah, let's stop! Most normal people wouldn't stop here, but we're not normal people. We are future Hero Kings in the making. Let's go.
Now then.
So, we're at yet another tomb, but I've prepared for this. I have some topics to talk about here. Yeah. So yeah, this time we're not facing off against Necromancer, we're facing off against kind of the next step up from a Necromancer. Essentially, a Necromancer who's made himself immortal through undeath. Maybe Zorba would have gone that route if we hadn't dealt with him in time. Certainly would be the kind of guy who'd make himself a lich just to serve Luis for all eternity. I get the sense Luis himself would probably not appreciate that, but still. I mean, you know, simps are useful to him, so he keeps them around. And, as hinted at by the Journal and the Gauntlet Runner, the next Neuras relic is here, so next time we're on the Runner, we should be able to rank him up. Also, memorandum. A quiet cemetery northwest of Brilehaven, built to mourn the children that died to a local epidemic, one that mostly claimed young lives in its part. Ugh. Oh, that would be awful. Yeah, it's kind of the reverse of the global pandemic of 2020 because that tended to not be as deadly to children. However, it came to be used as a cemetery for criminals with no next of kin. Anecdotal reports speak of passerby hearing shrill and feeble cries, unmistakably children's voices, which has earned a reputation to me. Yeah, there's something really creepy about ghost children. Probably because, you know, kids shouldn't be dying that young. But I mean, you know, the whole Five Nights at Freddy's builds its whole premise on that. So, weaknesses in this area. There are a lot of light weaknesses, but most of those enemies can be beaten in field combat. I want to stay on Gunner until it hits rank 20, because we're about to unlock the next tier of Gunner from Neuros. And Hulkenberg's going to swap back to Healer.
Healing power.
Haven't actually used Fortune's Bludgeon yet, I don't think, and I probably should be ranking up General more. Does have ice skills, though, which are the weakness of some of the enemies here. Alright, I have some Heroes Fruits. Only 2? For an activity that takes up an entire day? I know that you do get access to seeds of much better varieties of Archetype experience later, but still, that's not great for now. My lament in this tomb is that I've been a bit too efficient with the Gauntlet Runner and I have nothing to do and I'm stuck with the terrible activities on it. So let's move out into the Lamenty tomb itself, where hopefully we'll be getting some rank ups and hopefully I'll be able to awaken the Cleric archetype on Hulkenberg. So yeah, very sandstony looking place, and hi there! Oh! We've got Imitex on the field now! About that, are they... They are field killable. Okay, okay. Does Will have Thief? He does. Right. So whenever you encounter Mimics on the field, and they're field killable, always try and kill them with a Thief archetype, because that will get you a Hero's Leap of Light. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of back and forth here. Oh yes, remember, always be on the lookout for crawl spaces. This place is utterly full of crawl spaces. You can kind of see them through the gratings. Also, hi there, wall. Yeah, that might be movable at some point. But yeah, always remain vigilant for crawl spaces so we can get in here and grab this little item.
Let's stash that
We have to explore every suspicious looking nook and cranny so we can get that relic that Neuros wants, because Neuros is the goat. Speaking of the goat, that's less of a goat and more of a bull, but I guess Minotaurs can kind of be goats sometimes.
There they are.
And... well, yeah, I had a feeling it was gearing up for something like that, but I didn't expect him to charge that far forward. Hi there! That kind of jump scared me, and I'm a little sensitive to that at the moment because I was watching somebody stream Romeo was a Dead Man, and like the new Suda 52, was that his name? But yeah, that new game, the creator of No More Heroes, and yeah, so the death screen in that game is a jump scare. I kind of feel like that's an iffy gameplay design choice, especially on the higher difficulties where you might end up, this is a little more expensive, but let's see if it does. I think it does a little bit more damage. Like, on the hard difficulty where you can just get one shot out of nowhere, but yeah, I was like, honestly, most horror games tend to not scare me, but the fact that, like, just simply dying in an action game gives you a jump scare game over screen is like, yeah, that shook me a bit. Even the second time when I knew it was coming. Also, hi there, Tooth. Yeah, so this is pretty typical of Atlas games with press turn systems. And yeah, you're also immune to status ailments while guarding. You also can't dodge while guarding. Well, I thought you'd make a pun on indentistable or something. So we also have a lot of these things. Now, these things have kind of a depressing name to them. These are slave Malmordans. Also, we have the Curse White Malagetto. These are very, very, very weak enemies. Okay, I have access to Ice Wolf Offensive now, but let's just activate a Megadola and blow everything away. Did 666 damage. But actually, it's technically 616, I think it is.
Keep moving.
The number, and I think it's also meant to represent Nero. Yeah.
That should do it.
Book of Revelation is just weird in general. Like, it's a very strange book. But, okay, yeah. So from now on, I'm gonna try and fight these on the field by bonking them with my gunner. Probably should be equipping something like, yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else I can go from this point, so let's head down. Probably should be equipping something like Merchant, but like, I kind of want to rank up Gunner as well. Ah, the ghosts like to summon monsters and then they cast powerful dark magic. Yeah. We will actually want, wind skills as well later in this dungeon. Yeah, there's another Guptoros there, but if we want to dodge it, we can head through this crawl space. I do, like, honestly, like, I know that it can be a bit silly at times, but I do sometimes like the trope when what used to be, like, a regular, a mini-boss becomes a regular enemy. Also, yeah, thankfully marked on a map as an objective, we have the next one of Neurus's relics. Gypsum is a material, I believe.
That...
Wait.
Yes, it is one of those relics. Yeah, that actually reminds me of, like, I'm getting back into, because I got distracted by so many other games and I stopped playing, the Rito remaster. I'm getting back into playing that, and I actually really like the fact that they patched in the option to turn off marking quest objectives on your map. Because, like, it's a detective game, and a lot of the time, when they mark the side quest objectives on your map, the whole point of Rito's side quest is you're meant to use your detective skills to figure out what you're supposed to do, so I'm glad they added an option to turn that off in a later patch. So yeah, we got some, quite a few Minotaurs prancing about here.
This is bad.
No, it's not bad. It's actually quite good, because I can, activate the Thief archetype, and I can do this. I didn't know this in my first playthrough. This is another thing that I found out about via, I want to say, the Metaphor guidebook. It's not a guaranteed chance of dropping a hero's Leaf of Light, but it's likely. Yeah, Minotaur's actually out of range right now. Hi! Oh! Okay. Yeah, they can charge pretty far, but I wasn't expecting them to charge that far. Yeah, like I said, the main reason, as I was saying, like, I like it when things that used to be, bosses become normal enemies later, and the reason for that is that it really helps show you how far you've come. Like, this thing was brutally tough for us to fight, originally, and now it's not even that much of a threat to us, even when it's getting an ambush. Oh yeah, I gave Hulkenberg the MP regeneration accessory. It's both because we're a lot stronger and also because we have a lot more access to Pierce. Like, really good Pierce arc up to this point. Aha! The Giant's Rib! Now I can actually make progress to cooking new dishes. You know, given how much easier of a time I've had here, I honestly feel like it might have been better to do this first, and then the tower in my second run of the dungeons in this region. Like, yeah, maybe the guidebook kind of has it wrong in that regard. Oh, right, the reason why it doesn't is because they don't want to reach the Tomb of Lament during weather, but, like, to be honest, being here during bad weather, I don't think that'd really be that bad, because a lot of the enemies in here are weak enough to kill in the field. I can try a Vorpal Blade.
I'll use what I must.
Yep, just straight up taken down in a single round. Minotaurs are nothing to us anymore, and we get more of these Giant's Ribs. And there we go. And now we have, so Hex Shot is the most powerful type of shot from Gunner. It's quite expensive though. Yeah, 22 MP is fairly expensive for that price. We also get some more agility. So yeah, Will's actually becoming a nice speedy attacker at this point. But the real reason why I did that was so that I could unlock the Sniper archetype once we get Neurus with next rank. Ah, hello there. Switching back and forth between Thief is awkward, but it is worth it for the odds of getting a steal of a Leaf of Light.
Would sure be a pleasure.
Okay, we're gonna have to get that chest from above, like a Jigglypuff, as seen from. So we can head back up there, or we can head a little further in here. Hi there. Hi there, how you doing? You've been trapped down here for an awful lot, without any skin on you. Yeah, that must be really hard. I'm sorry, I will, this sounds mean, but like, you know, they're undead, they're perpetually trapped in this existence, so really, I'm just putting them out of their misery by finishing them off. Let me guess, the moment I pick this up, all those doors are gonna, yep, I thought so. I could tell from the fact that they were just like, sort of chopping at the bit to get at me. Let's go merchant in that case, so that I can get some money off of I guess maybe this is their families rewarding us for finally putting their souls to rest. Kind of come out with a bit of a dark backstory for all this, but were those ones walking backwards? I feel like they were.
It'll do, right?
Blink Basilards. I used to pronounce that Baselard. Agility +5 can be purified. Okay, honestly, Will not having Swordmaster at this point is kind of bad. I really should work on Warrior more. Gunner! But going for Gunner might actually help me with that. Getting me more of these. But yeah, Will's Warrior needs way more work. Okay, yeah, I think I know what we're supposed to do here. Yep, there's a crawl space here. I was not very diligent with crawl spaces in my first playthrough, so, yeah, I am trying to correct that here. I'm pretty sure that I had Samurai by my first visit by the next, Ark's dungeon when I got there in my first playthrough, so I probably should be working on... Okay, 2 reasons why that annoys me. 1, it's a dark boosting thing, which would have been really good against the ogre of that tower earlier. And 2, it's a better katana right after I bought a better katana at Brialhaven. But hey, I guess if 2 people want to be thieves, it's you know, nice to have extra copies of thief weapons. So yeah, like, to be honest, I actually am regretting... yeah, so I'm not going to be following the guidebook guide again. I wish I had done this beforehand. No sign of the bounty target. Yeah, well, obviously the bounty target is hidden in the deepy depths of the... Hi there! I want to say it's a 50% chance of the Leaf of Light. Something is running. It's probably a stupid skeleton. What happens if I take you out with Thief? Medicine. Well, it would have been a free thing to heal the guy with the pain earlier. And from here, yes, I can get on the other side of this grating and grab a Mana Break Hammer. That's probably there in case you do this dungeon before the Caradrius, because those are always good against I don't think it's Gelcom. I think it's the guy whose name starts with C. Hello there, Minotaur. I'm not going to let you charge me this time. There is no one hiding behind this pillar about to shoot you.
There they are.
And there we go. Okay, I can show off Hex Shot at least, but I don't want to blow my MP too much. Yeah, it's a lot more powerful, but it's also expensive. You can set up some combos with dark skills, though, if you manage to inflict Hex, though. Not a lot of enemies are vulnerable to Hex in this game, I feel. And let's just try and finish you there. Wow, that one doesn't even look like a crossbow, it's more like a sniper rifle. But there's always been a weird kind of sense of slightly modern-ish look to the tech in this world. Okay, one more level on you, and in fact... yeah, let's get you that even sooner. So yeah, just a loop around here. Did I miss the path to actually getting there? Well, at the very least, we can trip this switch, which is a little hidden on the wall here, and open up these walls. Unfortunately, there is no man staring at walls, so we don't get to see him and his true love, the wall. But yeah, I said I've been diligent about crawl space. I completely missed this crawl space that I could have gone through the first time. I am I was about to call myself a sassy barker, but like, no, I'm just a regular barker. That's extremely cringe, but anyway. Speaking of cringe, I have comments on that later. Hello there! Let's just... requires a lot of menu back and forthing, but it's worth it just to get some more money. So, on the other side of this, we can finally access the crawl space that will let us grab the little item here. I don't know why, I like the way that, like, pick-upable items are indicated via, are indicated via, there wasn't even a, Imatech there. You know, I'll stay on Gunner just for, like, the Archetype experience. But yeah, are indicated by that, like, that blue glow, which is, it's fun to find these in the fields. So, yeah, Hero's Fruit, and I think there's more to see around here. Yeah, I've taken down the wall over here. But there's another wall there, so We can move up in here
Might be
and
something we can do here.
keep being on the lookout for... Yeah, it doesn't look like we can do anything in this area. Pick up a bull. Yeah, I used to make my own adjectives via, like, you know, something, a bull. For example, I used to refer to the, any target that you can latch onto with a hook shot in, like, Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker. I used to call those hook-shottable targets. That was my name for them. I mean, what else would you call those things? Like, seriously. And yeah, there's a whole lot of Minotaurs just prowling around here, so the people of Grand Trad are lucky they didn't live next to this. Oh, actually, this gives Hulkenberg a free Blizz every fight, because she recovers the exact same amount that Blizz is costing.
Woo, not too shabby. Let's
Okay, take it out. I just saw, like, the vein just kind of recede into the heart after a battle. And now we have healer maxed out on Hulkenberg. Yeah, this kind of stat build makes her like a tanky mage. An archetype I kind of wish you saw more of. I was about to say something about that, but like that's kind of a spoiler for a recent Critical Role episode. Recent as of recording this, Campaign 4, episode 14, I think. But yeah, now we can actually have Hulkenberg go into Cleric, which has a smaller strength penalty than healer does. And once we get to Savior, we get no strength penalty at all. Now I'm kind of spoiling what I'm going to be talking about in my own bios. Oh, that's cool. That is very cool.
I see. A new means of protection.
So Medica is the main thing I want here, but getting Recalm isn't bad either. I still can't believe that Godly Blessing is like, these are different skills. Why they translate them both as the same thing? I also noticed as well that like, the Magical Future, Julian's book, is inconsistently translated. Sometimes it's called The Future of Magic.
Nice. I bet we'll find a use for that.
Grace Water. I need regular Blessed Water. Why am I not getting regular Blessed Water?
We are spotted.
Draw Steel's another, like, it's Matt Colville's, like, D&D game, which, well, D&D inspired game, which, actually, that's a good segue, because, so we're not going to be fighting them until, you know, we get to the very end of this dungeon, but we're probably a little over halfway at this point, so I want to talk about how our fantasy creature of the day this time is Liches. So, Liches surprised me a lot, because, I have spent, like, a lot of my life familiar with, like, what Liches are, because they're referenced in a lot of fantasy that I, you know, consume regularly. Liches, like mimics, are another invention of Dungeons & Dragons. Well, not technically. Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't even notice me, but, like, yeah, almost unnoticed there. I forgot to inherit Ice on you, so I guess take Hummer on. Actually, I just got a Hummer on at a perfect time. Because the boss of this dungeon is going to be weak to that. This should fit in, or you could dodge. That's fine too. Oh right, yeah, they do this. This is what the informant warned us about. I mean, however, they're, like, we haven't really been threatened by these very much, so yeah, there we go. And yeah, just like the regular healer, Cleric doesn't start with any healing. Does learn it quickly, but yeah, you might want to inherit the healing skill from regular healer onto it. Speaking of inheritance, though, Blizz and... I mean, that on a healer is kind of nice to have, though I'd probably rather save my mag to inherit area healing onto Magic Knight. I will take that because there are going to be the green elementers in here still. So yeah, just like Mix... Liches are an invention of Dungeons & Dragons. Well, like I said, not technically, because the word lich has existed for longer, but it used to just mean any undead. It wasn't until D&D that liches began being known as a very, very specific type of creature. And that was a very powerful necromancer who did some kind of profane ritual and ended up gaining immortality via undeath. And because of this, Liches are typically always evil, because usually these kind of experiments that give yourself immortality via undeath tend to be very unethical and require the sacrifice of a lot of innocent people. There have apparently been good Liches in the history of the game, but Liches are usually inherently bad. The most distinctive feature of a Dungeons & Dragons Lich, though, is the fact that they've contained their own soul within an artifact. Now, this used to be regularly called a phylactery, but this is actually a term for, it's not strictly, it's been used to refer to a lot of different religious things over the course of history, but it's most well known as a small box that Jews would carry pages of the Torah in. So not exactly a good look to have that as the soul jar of an evil undead monstrosity that is pretty much always inherently bad, and yeah. So a lot of works these days change that. I prefer just the term, I had a feeling I targeted the skeleton by accident there. Once again, I'm just gonna Megado them. Gonna send them off to the next world in style. But yeah, speaking of which, so the way that a Lich's soul jar works is that as long as the soul jar remains undiscovered and intact, I've gotten wise to your charges, the Lich cannot die. Even if you destroy its physical body, it will reform a new body as long as its soul survives. However, destroying the Lich's soul jar and therefore freeing its soul is the only way to kill a Lich permanently. And I feel this aspect of Lich folklore is heavily influenced by, like Mimic's, D&D gameplay mechanics. After all, it's a fun idea to have your players searching for, like searching the world for the Lich's soul jar. Like, you know, they've got a recurring villain, and obviously, like, if they've destroyed the Lich once and didn't know about the soul jar, the Lich could come back for them again, and now that the Lich has a grudge against them. And it also acts as a great excuse, because one thing that I've noticed, and I've never run Dungeons & Dragons myself, but if I ever did, I feel like this would be a massive, massive difficulty for me. I think I missed a crawl talking all about be diligent about crawl spaces, but I think the path's gonna loop around. I will be able to get it back later. But yes. Alright, yeah, all the other undead here, Liches often command other undead. They usually retain their intelligence after undeath, and are able to summon and command armies of undead. So it makes them a great villain for any undead-focused campaign. Not only are they a commander of the undead hordes, but again, it solves the common D&D issue of, I had this amazing big bad prepare for my players, and whoops, I overestimated them, and the players killed them in their first encounter. I have never run D&D myself, but I'm sure anybody who has in the comments can probably relate here, because I get the sense it's very common for this kind of thing to happen. And with a Lich, you don't have to worry about that. As long as the players don't fight the soul jar, then the Lich can just keep coming back. They won't die after one encounter. At the same time, you also need to make sure that, like, you know, this recurring villain doesn't get old. I mean, that's an issue with, like, writing fiction in general. Whenever you got a recurring villain, you've always got to make sure that, you know, they don't get old after a while. Some villains work best when they're only encountered a couple of times and then dying. Some villains would work a little better if they got to last a little bit longer. Like, for example, I think that Nelus in Fire Emblem Engage should have survived at least one more fight. He should have definitely died after the second encounter, but really him dying after the first fight was a little bit of a waste to me.
Risk pays off.
And once again, I buy better gauntlets at Brilhaven, only to find better gauntlets in a dungeon. That's why I usually don't bother with buying things from reduce damage being hit by a weakness. That's cool. I also like the idea of like a lance made out of coral. But yes, as I was saying, Liches are an excuse to give your party a recurring villain to fight. That they have to work hard to permanently kill. Like, finding the Lich's soul jar in itself can be a quest. You can make people really work for it. And yeah, like, there's kind of few other ways to genuinely make a villain that you can guarantee your party isn't just gonna gank in the first encounter. One of the only other ways to do that would be to, oh, I don't know, drop 4 ancient dragons in front of your players while they're only mid-tier levels. I mean, you know, what kind of D&D campaign would do that? Surely not an extremely famous one that I'm thinking of. So, yeah, let's do our worst, but first... Oh, hi, I was actually kind of hoping I'd run into one of these. Hello, would you relinquish to me your hero's leaf of life? Thank you. Oh, they also drop Blessed Water. And we have a second gold beetle in here. Suppose while I'm here, I may as well save. 2 leaves of light. Let's put them on general. Oh, we're actually getting fairly close to general being at level 15. Alright, in my defense, at the time, I was very focused on these skeletons that were rushing me. Because, yeah, there's a crawl space here that I missed. And also another one that I missed. Because this gets me our Steven Universe character. And this crawl space gets us...
If you see a use for it, I say take it with you.
Something that probably won't end up being very good.
What now?
Now, in addition to being weak to light, this boss is also weak to strike. So, an excuse to go into Brawler and Pugilist. And we are going to be needing some wind skills, which Heismay does have, and Will has an extra slot for. Okay, not a lot of MP on Heismay, but I probably should only need to use, like, my buffs with him once. Actually, hang on a minute. Hulkenberg. Mage group strength. So now we can potentially stack ourselves up to +3 attack. So yeah, it's a purpley blue Lich this time. And this one is maybe a little easier to take down because it doesn't boing all physical attacks. However, it does summon a Chimenza. So, we'll see how much damage we can do before it does that.
Looks like they're weak to light. I guess it's our time to shine.
So yeah, we do know the light weakness on this thing. In a way, like, the Liches in this game are kind of almost reminiscent of Buddhist priests in appearance. So yeah, another way that, that the game kind of plays with those fantasy tropes. Yeah, let's go Skullcracker. Magical injection. I don't think we really need that right now, but we do have Hammer on. Do like the way that mace looks, and yeah, we get both Tiger Eruption Fist and Super Energy Ray. So now, even bigger Kamehameha! If I finish this thing before it even gets a chance to summon its minion, that'd be really funny. Actually, no. Let's move all of us to the back row with the shelter formation. Using one after the other gives us both buffs and all the defense of being in the back row. Though I kind of want you in the front row because, you know. Yeah, it's already almost down. Okay, Soul Cry. Is it? Am I gonna even skip the summoning? No, it is summoning. Yeah, it's even making those sort of classic East Asian hand signals. But, yeah. So, the Chimenza can severely heal the Lich, so you do want to focus on taking out it while it's present. Also, as the informant said, the Lich gets stronger while the Chimera is in play. However, I'm actually significantly less, like, capable of taking it out than I am the Lich itself. Like, I can use the Stormcaller Flute.
It's okay.
But yeah, it actually isn't really taking a lot of damage, so you know what? How about we try and... yeah, let's go Meteoric Fist and try and get some damage on them both at once. Only one hit on the Lich, unfortunately, but I do wonder if I will be able to kill it with, Super Energy Ray should probably finish it off. Yeah, it's down, okay, so we just have the Chimera to deal with. They told us to take this thing out first, but as it turns out, we were never one to Go with the crowd. Yeah, let's use the Coney roast.
Helpful as ever.
Thank you.
We're gonna lose our buff soon, unfortunately. Oh, Heisman has exactly no MP left. Just kind of amazing. But yeah, let's see if I can get the Skullcracker. Yep, did not get the, Oh, right, that is I guess that's the price that you pay for catching the hedgehog. No. The price that you pay for, having the convenience of being able to put that on everyone. Because, like, seriously, that's a lot to pay for just one stack of Tarukaja.
I'll use what I must.
Also, I
Again,
probably should have had, like, stealing, but, eh,
a defensive
God.
stance.
Fire Claw is fine. Pretty sure that could burn you. And our defense is back, but, like, it's not like this is really gonna last that much longer. Let's actually just get some extra press turns in. Okay, no offensive casting. You better not repel that. No, that's fine against you. Okay, then. Another wind. Oh, was that was like a crit? Yeah, it was. Okay, now, we just punch you, and there we go. Okay, yeah, that fight was interesting. Yeah, definitely, I feel the easier... Pretty big rewards in that, too. But yeah, definitely the easier quest boss in the region. And yes, we have Medica. And so now that gives us the inverted Holy Grail, the one that guaranteed kills you.
Yes.
Now then.
I think I am finished with this dungeon.
In that case,
I'll check my notes to make sure there really were only 2 gold beetles here. But I'm gonna need to be very careful how I leave this place, because I need to keep going in my journey so that I can fight Shulk. While I'm here, I will pay to inherit Medica. I definitely have all of the gold beetles in here. So, next time, we're gonna be leaving this place by setting up camp, because that's gonna take us to Mr. Really Feeling It himself. See you all there.
That's right.